हमारे पास बुक 11 का टेस्ट 3 है आज और देखते हैं इस टेस्ट के सैम्पल आंसर्स क्या हैं. डू कीप इन माइंड कि दीज आर द सैम्पल आंसर्स जस्ट टू गिव यू एन आइडिया ऑफ हाउ थिंग्स गो. आप इससे अपना आंसर फर्निश कर सकते हैं. तो हमारे पास इसका पहला पार्ट है फोटोग्राफ्स. What types of photos do you like taking? Why or why not? I like taking photos of others because through the advent of cell phone, my urge to take photographs has been satisfied to a great extent, and I can capture some exciting moments and moments of the family, moments of the friends, and I like to take photos of the moments, especially when the kids and friends are doing something funny, and sometimes when I go to a hill station or some scenery that attracts me, so I like to take photograph of that. सवाल नंबर 2, what do you do with photos you take? I don't like to edit photos, and right after clicking the photo, I like to post it where it is needed, and then I take an album of the photo and I keep a record of all those photos, yearly record and monthly record, and I have a library of photos at home in my personal computer. सवाल नंबर 3, when you visit other places, do you take photos or buy the postcards? Why or why not? Usually whenever I go somewhere, I am well informed about that place. I do some homework before visiting a place and get some necessary information of that place. And when I visit that place, I take photographs of that place and the important things and monuments that I want to keep alive in my memory. So I take photographs. I don't like to buy postcards. सवाल नंबर 4, do you like people taking photos of you? Why or why not? uh, yes, I like people taking photos of me because it shows their interest in me, it shows their love and respect, and it shows that they want to keep their memories of spending time with me alive in their brains and in their heart, and so it is great love of them, and I never deny and I never refuse to get photographed by them. So it's really honoring for me. पार्ट नंबर 2 है हमारे पास जो कि क्यू कार्ड या स्पीच है. डिस्क्राइब अ डे व्हेन यू थॉट द वेदर वाज परफेक्ट. आप वो दिन बताएं जब आपको लगा कि आज का मौसम परफेक्ट है आपके ख्याल में. वेयर यू वर ऑन दिस डे, आप कहाँ थे और वेदर कैसा था, और व्हाट यू डिड ड्यूरिंग द डे, और आपने दिन में क्या किया. एंड एक्सप्लेन व्हाई यू थॉट द वेदर वाज परफेक्ट ऑन दिस डे, और आपको वो क्यों लगा कि ये वेदर बहुत परफेक्ट है. So, few years back, me with my friends tried to have a hangout after my midterm exams were over, and we couldn't afford to go to uh, any place where we could spend many days. So we planned a short tour of one day to Rohtas Fort, which is situated on GT Road, Islamabad. So we planned a tour, and we in the morning left for that around 8 a.m. in the morning, and we reached there at around 10. But before that, we had a hearty breakfast at some dhaba, which also added to the music of the day. And when the sun rose in the morning, it wasn't that pleasant. There was a nip of cold air in the morning, but as it rose higher, the wind became pleasant, and some clouds, as we left the Gujarat, and the clouds started appearing in the sky, and these patches of clouds were small and white, and they looked soft as cotton balls. But these clouds added to the beauty. And after we left Gujarat, there were trees around the borders of the roads, and some of the uh, mountains and the hills were visible, and there were clouds, and uh, I just felt as if it was something mythical, because I had never experienced such a scenery before, because I always traveled with some burden in my mind, and to reach to some destination on time, and all these things make us not available to the scenery around us. So this day I was completely available for enjoying each and everything my eyes could see. So I enjoyed the movements of the cloud. I enjoyed the nip of the air. I enjoyed the greenery alongside the road. And these things, along with these things, there was a smell coming uh, from the green fields, and all these things make me breathe fully. I could inhale all that smell, and I just experienced a rebirth of my inner self. I discovered the beauty of the nature, and when we reached there, uh, obviously Rohtas Fort is a perfect example of the Mughal architecture for the defense against the enemy attacks. And when I was, visiting that fort, I discovered a new self of my mind, because I discovered that I felt so lighter when I went there. I was burdened when I left for that, but I think that this weather and the air, the clouds, the greenery, the red stones of the fort, and everything was so romantic that I could not have the courage to get back to my own city. But I had to, and I would love to see that weather again. And I took many photos of that scenery, and still that weather is alive in me. Even when I'm telling you, my heart is jumping with excitement, and I am all those things are in front of my floating in front of my eyes, and there is a sense of joy, satisfaction, and happiness in me. So this weather was perfect, and we left and we enjoyed the whole day. Thank you. पार्ट नंबर 3 की तरफ आते हैं, जिसमें डिस्कशन टॉपिक्स हैं. व्हाट टाइप्स ऑफ वेदर डू पीपल इन योर कंट्री डिसलाइक द मोस्ट. लोगों को कौन सी जो वेदर टाइप्स हैं पसंद नहीं हैं आपके मुल्क में. Especially in the past 5 to 10 years, weathers have and the seasons have become extreme, um, due to the climate changes, and our country has a hotter climate, and uh, it has become extreme, and the temperature rises to 45 degrees in summer, and this has become intolerable for the people of my country, and they try to keep their bodies cool, but it exhausts, it drains all their energy, and it dehydrates their bodies, and everybody is feeling weak. They cannot perform their duties well, they cannot have their rest well. So because we belong to a poor country, and we cannot afford, everybody cannot afford to have an air condition. Even the power supplies are not continuous and consistent in our country. So all these problems add to the misery of uh, the plight of the people. So they dislike the extreme uh, summer mostly, and the oxygen is not available to breathe in the days of the humidity. Sawal number 2, what jobs can be affected by weather conditions? Jobs which are the outdoor jobs, like the jobs of the marketing, the jobs of the supplies, the job of laboring in construction department, uh, these jobs, and vending, they are really affected badly by weather conditions. दूसरा सवाल, are there any important festivals in your country that celebrate a season or type of weather? Uh, well, there are some festivals, but they are not celebrated well in our country these days. There were the festivals of Basant, which celebrated spring season. Baisakhi celebrated summer season. Uh, Diwali celebrated the winter season. So such festivals were common before partition, but now there are no festivals that celebrate weathers or seasons in our country. पार्ट नंबर 3 के दूसरे सेक्शन की तरफ आते हैं, जिसमें वेदर फोरकास्ट है. हाउ इम्पोर्टेंटली डू यू थिंक इट इज़ फॉर एवरी वन टू चेक व्हाट द नेक्स्ट डेज वेदर विल बी? तो हर इंसान के लिए कितना ज़रूरी है ये देखे कि अगले दिन का मौसम कैसा है. इट्स वेरी important for people to see what the weather would be like the next day, but in our country, mostly the weather remains the same in one season. Like in winter, it stays foggy for around 15 to 20 days, and it stays cloudy for a week or two, and in summer it mostly stays sunny. So people don't have to consult the weather before leaving their place. But in other countries and areas where the weather is unpredictable and it changes during the day, they need to check the weather. What is the best way to get accurate information about the weather? These days, I don't think there is any other source of accurate information available except the satellite and the weather departments, and they upload the weather conditions on the internet, and only this is the reliable resource these days. But before the advent of this internet, people used to have in exercise their sixth sense, their experience, and they could see the weather changes. So they predicted, the old people predicted, but now internet is the most reliable source for everybody. सवाल नंबर 3, हाउ ईजी और डिफ़िकल्ट इट इज़ टू प्रिडिक्ट वेदर इन योर कंट्री? वाई इज़ दैट? आपके मुल्क में वेदर को प्रिडिक्ट करना कितना मुश्किल है और कितना आसान है? Obviously, nobody on this planet can predict what's going to happen the next moment. But when it comes to weather, obviously, scientists have developed a mechanism and satellites and a system that can predict weather on the basis of the present conditions of the weather. So for science, it's not very difficult to predict weather, and in our country, it's not that hard to predict weather because it's a hot climate country, and it's easy to predict because mostly it stays hot, it stays sunny, and in winter it stays cool. So weather does not have many changes during the day. इस टेस्ट को सुनने के लिए आपका शुक्रिया। इसको ज़रूर शेयर करें बहुत सारे लोगों के साथ, बिकॉज़ बहुत सारे लोगों को इसकी ज़रूरत है। और इसको शेयर करना, लाइक करना, सब्सक्राइब करना बिल्कुल फ्री है। सो डू दैट।